Let's jump to this next story from SCNR. Perhaps one of the most important and shocking things we've seen so far. Michael Rapaport has withdrawn his endorsement for Joe Biden. I can't believe it. The esteemed comedian is now saying that he will not be supporting Biden. He says, I'm officially unendorsing Joe Biden. I did so much work on behalf of this soft serve ice cream eating MF. I'm done. I want to give him a shout out. The reason why his journey's been so incredible is because he's so vocal. He's so animated in his mockery of Trump and now of Biden. And he is a funny guy. I think there's a P missing from him. He has two P's.
I guess Israel's more important to Rapaport than our democracy, huh? There you go. Well, that's unfortunate.
But he's legit funny. And even when he says voting for pig dick Donald Trump is on the table, it's funny. Yes, and I can respect it. But I think ultimately what we see here is the tides there are turning. And there are a lot of people who are, this is not just about Mike Rapaport. We were talking about this the other day, Jewish voters who up until a week ago were anti-Trump and for Joe Biden and endorsing him. And bang, they're now pro-Trump. Instantly anti-Biden just on one issue overnight.
Well, I think the funny thing is that Biden has supported Israel way more than Trump ever has. Ever. And they're, I mean, at the end of the day, they're both pro-Zionist and
yeah, even though Trump put the embassy in Jerusalem, right? Like he did make big moves.
And Trump is the one who executive ordered the anti-Semitism definition.
Yes.
Yeah, and he did the Abraham Accords.
Yeah. Well, the Abraham Accords are good.
No, I'm saying like he was trying to do things that seemed pro-Israel-ish.
Right. But Joe Biden's been voting to send money to Israel for 40 years.
He made a career of this.
This is his career. I mean, he's supported Israel way more than Donald Trump ever has.
It's not
even close. And so
anything that pisses off the communists, the Nazis, at the same time, I'm kind of for it, man. So if it hurts the Democrats and it hurts the communists and it pisses off the Nazis, I'm like, all right, I kind of like it because all of that stuff is anti-American BS. So
I just think this is, an example of how many Americans feel betrayed by Biden, right? Like it's why when people say like, we have empathy for loss of life in other places, but we want you to focus on what's going on at home. Like we are suffering here. The border is way too open. I cannot pay my bills.
None of that matters to Michael Rapaport at all.
No, but it's interesting because he's like, I was on your side and I feel as though you've betrayed me. Whatever his reasoning is, like, I think that's a sentiment that a ton of voters share right now. Yeah. It's not that they're in love with Donald Trump. Maybe there are people who are won over, but a lot of people are just like, Biden is the worst and he let me down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think this will be the thing that changes Rapaport to see other issues like that?
No.
Like if his Israel is his gateway drug into seeing other problems in this country.
Yeah, this is a one and done kind of thing. So? Like Israel, when it comes to like Jewish people that are generally liberal or leftist, and they were like, oh, this one issue, this will be the one and done. They're
so
not going to
see
be
him in like a brick suit at the border wall.
No, I don't
campaigning.
I definitely don't see him, being like build a wall. Not at all.
The pro-Zionist people, the majority of the pro-Zionist people in the United States are liberal. They just support pro-Zionist Republicans because they're pro-Zionist.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what do you mean by liberal?
Like culturally, and they want.
Liberal in an American sense, or liberal as in
not liberal as in the classical liberal sense.
You mean
like neoliberal,
Democrat.
Open the entire border.
So you just said neoliberal.
Sex changes for children.
Hold on, you just said neoliberal, right? Yeah. Okay. Do you think of libertarians as neoliberal?
Absolutely not.
Sitch and Adam, you see. Anyways,
we lost that term. We lost that term to the left.
So there's these neoliberal is a reference to like Democrat establishment corporatism.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
And
but it is. No, the classical term liberal was libertarianism. I mean, the founders were classical liberals. That's how they were.
Right.
But the left stole that term from us. That's the problem with the right and libertarians is we've been losing the war on language for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah,
but that's why neoliberal exists.
Right.
Because liberal is a reference to there's different facets of liberalism in classical liberalism, traditional social liberalism, and then you have neoliberalism, like you have neoconservatism. It's the establishment establishment uniparty garbage. But
This is what I thought.
Are they arguing neolib means libertarian?
So that's what they're like, no, libertarian, because they're saying that it's a new liberalism that's open markets and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I never thought of neoliberal.
These guys are trying to take it back. And it's not going to work.
I always thought of neoliberals as Democrats.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. So they were just as much the war machine as anything else.
Listen, I just watched the guy.
That was my perspective.
The
of it.
guy
And
who started the Liberal Caucus in the Libertarian Party, who's trying to bring his name's Josh. Eagle.
Yeah,
he's trying to bring the term liberal back as neoliberal, as libertarian, and then he's praising Bill Weld on social media today. Okay, that guy sat on the board of CFR. Like, come on,
he's
man.
so like
You know?
that's the thing. It's and that like that guy Josh. Like I think he means well. I had to block him because he's annoying, but I think he means well. But he's so
I'd love to see your block
wrong.
list, Phil. I'd love
It's
to see your
long,
block list.
dude. Because I block at the drop. I'm on the Michael Malice train. Michael Malice is right when it comes to
I
Twitter.
only block the porn bots. That's
No,
it.
you
That's all I
block
do. I'll block
anyone
anybody.
at any reason for any reason at the drop of a hat because your
Phil?
Twitter experience is your experience, and
What if
you
you're a
are
masochist,
not,
Phil, like
you are
me?
not obligated to listen to anyone's
Phil,
BS.
you have to
wait.
monetize the hate, man. Monetize the hate.
But why even look at your mentions?
Oh, I still talk to people all the time.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I don't have 2 million.
Mine's random.
Mine's still manageable.
It's just nonsense. It's
Mine's
like
still
I open it
manageable.
up and it's a mix of like crypto salesmen, marijuana, porn bots.
Porn bots. Lots of porn
Mine's,
bots.
lot of porn
mine's
bots.
different now than it was like a year and change ago when I started coming down here regularly and stuff. But like it's still manageable.
I probably
Like,
have
yours is
2,000 Twitter porn bots blocked, but nobody else.
What
Zero
I
other
do
people.
is if there's someone that is, you know, if I see, if I do periodically look at mentions and stuff like that. If I see someone, the first thing I do is I don't block them. I
Mute them.
No, I do block them.
Oh, you do.
And then I unblock them instantly. It's a force unfollow. So what that?
Oh, okay.
I'll stop appearing in their feed without them being blocked, and then out of sight, out of mind.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
So yeah,
He's
right.
giving away Twitter secrets
That's not a
right
bad
now.
idea.
Now I know why
Yeah,
Tim
like
stopped
that.
showing up in my Twitter feed, dude. That's messed up, man.
The force unfollow has been around forever. You block and unblock right away, and that because some people are trying to get blocked.
Oh, yeah.
So then they can then screenshot it and then start.
It's a currency.
Right.
It is. So you don't give it to them. You just step one is block unblock, and not they don't follow you anymore.
I just like following the people that are the worst to me. I just follow them back.
I do. Look, I take it back. I do block. There are some people, for a long time they went after my family. They were talking shit about my family. I do block people who talk about my children. That's the one.
Yeah.
The one caveat that I carry is if you talk about my kids, you're done. You're out.
There was
wanna
there was a time where people were going after where like Antifa people were trying to go after the band and and so I started just blocking everything.
Well, dude,
I'm pretty good at keeping myself separate from the band. Like I don't do political stuff under the guise of All That Remains, so I can keep them separate. And the guys in the band, they're very different opinions in the band, right? Like we're not a monolith at all. So
well, we were trying to adopt the baby sibling of our 2 adopted children, and people were calling the DHS trying to keep us from adopt, and they did. Eventually, it happened.
Really?
Yeah.
You couldn't do it? You
Yeah.
couldn't adopt a kid?
They just made it too hard.
That's
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
which means that like people kept a child from having a home with their biological siblings because of what they did on Twitter.
Yes.
This is the thing about the internet. Like I would be really interested to see an individual list of who has blocked all of us, because I think there is an aspect of the internet where people create a version of you. Like you are creating it when you post, but also people have a version of you that they have come predetermined to the platform,
Yeah,
right?
they don't know me.
They see you on
Yeah,
one thing
yeah.
and they're like, that guy is the worst and I
Yeah.
hate him. And they don't actually spend any time looking at you. They'll block you right off the bat.
Be like, I'd like to know how many of my hater dorks like had adopted kids from foster care. I'd like to know how
this
many of
goes
them.
this goes back to what
Probably
we were
not very
saying.
many.
This goes back to what we were saying about charisma. There's the same kind of distaste, immediate knee-jerk reaction that people have to, like, some people, you'll just meet someone and there's like, I don't like something about that person, and you can't, and it's really, really hard to do anything about it if you like get that,
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's weird. I know there's one person who has me blocked on Twitter, and I know why. Person has never interacted with me ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting to think I don't care about you at all, but you care enough about me, even though we've never interacted, that you have to go out of your way to block my content. I'm like barely alive on Twitter.
I've had people call my jobs and all kinds of stuff. I mean, these people are nasty, man.
There were
They're
people that
pretty
came
rough.
we had bomb threats and death threats.
Yeah,
and all that stuff
you've had
for
a bunch
while.
of shit too. Yeah, absolutely. I've had lots of death threats. If I showed up to my own anti-war rally for my own party in D.C., they said they would kill me.
Wow.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
That's weird because I feel like the stuff that happened with us was very specific. and sent it around one particular thing that I can't discuss.
Okay.
But I see people post these messages where it's like, someone sent me this message, look, and it's like this really awful, nasty thing. You're a scumbag, piece of every swear in the world. We really don't get any of that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Aside from the swatting stuff that was going on, that was hyper specific to, there's still an ongoing investigation related to it, but they think they caught the guy. I don't know that they did, but that was really, really specific. In terms of the general death threats and stuff like this, I don't see it. Like we did the skate thing in DC. We announced we're going to be there. Not a peep.
Oh,
we showed up and everyone clapped and cheered and we got high fives.
Yeah, I carry everywhere I go.
I get like weird emotional messages. Like I've had people message me stuff that's like, just kind of dark. They're telling me stuff that like I cannot help them with from the internet. You don't really like, we don't actually know each other. And that's where it starts to be like, the internet's such an interesting tool and people can feel really bonded with someone. On the other hand, like it makes it so that there's this weird barrier where you're allowed to interact with someone in a way that like isn't real, but on the other end, like they have no ability to help me if you're like threatening to hurt yourself or something like that. And I, again, with the rise of like Twitter endorsements and like how many people, because if you were getting an endorsement for a presidential election in the past, right, you would like maybe get a congressman, maybe a newspaper would endorse you, their editorial board, whatever else. But now Michael Rapaport, different pillars of culture, especially that are big online, what they say really matters. And it can reach people in a way that I don't think campaigns have the ability to keep up with. I mean, the influencer effect on the election is intense.
We live in an influencer economy.
We do.
That's what
Culture war is very important right now. Very important.
So let's talk about what's going on. We got big news that in 2 weeks, we got RFK Jr. and Donald Trump at the LP Libertarian Party National Convention.
And Vivek.
Yeah. Vivek's campaigning for Trump, though, so I assume it's all just about for.
Well, Vivek has actually said that he's going to debate our vice presidential candidate. Which could end up being Kurt Russell. Sorry.
Kurt Russell. Wow.
Big news, Joshua.
Listen, I just did exactly what Michael Rectenwald did on the show when he couldn't remember Clint's name. I know Clint. Clint's a good friend of mine.
Well, I said the other day that Trump made a mistake in hiring Michael Bolton. So,
Michael Bolton, exactly. No. So, it could end up being Clint Russell from Liberty Lockdown is our vice presidential candidate. Right. He has no real.
There are no challengers.
There are challengers, but I mean it's Clint. He's already. He's kind of predetermined unless anybody else steps up. I think.
Vivek signaling that he's VP.
I don't know.
Subtly?
That's what I felt like. It felt like that that's his signal.
But he's standing behind Trump at the.
Has Trump picked a VP yet?
No, but he's at Mar-a-Lago with Trump at a fundraiser, standing right next to him.
Yeah.
I don't see him. I see him going with the intent of helping Donald Trump.
Anyway.
So, but to have a major political candidate going to the Libertarian Party convention,
a past president. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
It's massive. This is history.
The biggest thing that ever happened to the Libertarian Party, and the normal social club people that have been in the Libertarian Party for a long time are really upset about this. I mean, they're really. And there's a part of me that's like, hey, this is taking. At first, like, this is going to take a couple eyes off our candidate. But then I really got to the point where it's like, no, we're going to have more eyes on our candidate than we've ever had at the national convention in 50 years, right? So, like, and there's also, like, RFK Jr. is pushing for a debate with Donald Trump, right? Which, if that was to happen and get the LP, it's not going to happen.
No way.
It's probably not. But if we was able to get the Libertarian presidential candidate in there as well, because if we can pick the nominee early enough, then we have, 3 different parties, basically, actually doing something that the Libertarian Party has never been able to do ever in history.
Pick your candidate on the first day of your convention?
So it's supposed to be on the 3rd day, but there is a way to amend the agenda to move it up, and there's a lot of people that are talking, delegates, because our delegates, there's only 1,000 people that pick our nominee.
Yeah.
This delegates from all over the country show up and pick our nominee 2 weeks from today, actually. And so there's a chance that we move it up, we have our nominee picked, and that's the person that questions Donald Trump at the show. So.
Can you, when Angela made the announcement, she said that people were going to like send in questions or something beforehand. There's going to be sort of a list for Donald Trump.
There's already a list of things.
So is he getting is somebody moderating and asking questions, or is he going to deliver a speech?
I've heard so many different things, but there's one that says if we have the nominee by then, the nominee is the one that gets to ask the questions from the panel. If we don't have the nominee, this is the list of questions. He's going to talk maybe about Ross Ulbricht. Maybe he's going to talk. There's certain things. There's all kinds of things flying around out there. Who knows what's real? Angela probably knows much better than I do what is real and what isn't. There's so much in the Twitter space. But look, the fact of the matter is that this is the biggest thing that happened to the Libertarian Party. And people are like, oh, you're asking your opponents to come over there. I'm like, that's good. That's good for me.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.